Hello, and how are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Hadiza Watara. How have you been? How was the last week video? Did you enjoy it? I want to thank everybody who watched. It was such an encouragement to see the number of people who watched. And but I'd like to see more people subscribe so that whenever I post my videos, you would get an alert concerning that, or you get a notification, not alert, oh, that sounds like money, concerning that, because I may not always post on Facebook to prompt you to go watch it. So I'd like to thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. Just seeing the number of people, I honestly am so grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am truly grateful. Okay, so I'm so sorry this video is coming late because I went for my mother-in-law's burial in Warri. I just got in today and I thought, okay, let me just do the video and let's have it. But I would like to apologize for not bringing the earlier advertised topic, that is submission, my point of view. So I would like to say, please, let me conclude last week because of the response I got and the messages I got from people. So I had quite a number of married people married people say to me, okay, so what do I do? I'm married, I don't know how to leave, or I'm not ready to leave, and I'm not happy, and I don't know how to love myself in that context, because it seemed like I dealt with you being outside of relationship or having left that friendship, or having left that environment, then you can love yourself. So today I'd like to conclude on that, to talk about how to love yourself or be happy while in a relationship that is not conducive or environment. This also is to address those of you who can't move away from your family members who are abusive in one way or the other, or misusing you, or not loving you properly. This also can help people who are in a working environment, who need to know how to find that inner peace while you're in the environment that's not quite friendly and not conducive. So I hope that it would help you. So today I like to talk about loving yourself, finding your happiness, your joy, your place of your zing in a relationship. Now, if you're in a relationship, whether it's marriage, courtship, your siblings, an office situation, in-laws, and rest of it, and you are going through any form of abuse, the first thing I'd like you to know is that you've got two legs, go. Any form of abuse, anything that dehumanizes you, you need to leave that environment. People go through physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, you have emotional abuse. So you go through it and you are beginning to think you are less than human, that you're less than the other person, that you don't qualify to be in that person's presence, or in that person's environment, or you don't qualify to be who you are. You don't see yourself as you used to see yourself. That is abuse in itself. Now, let me just break down a bit of abuse so some of you would understand what you're in. Physical abuse, of course, you understand, is that beating part. Mental abuse is that a person who, once you hear his car, you are fixing up the place, or you're fixing yourself, or you're quickly trying to do something because you know he's going to come in. He would not talk to you if you find something that is in error, or you don't know if today he's in a good mood or he's in a bad mood. He's going to smile with me today. Is she going to talk to me today? It's the back and forth. You are always on your toes. Mental. You're almost going mad, because you really can't put that person, you can't say this is the order of things and this is how the person prefers to have things. So you have to always guess by their moods and stuff. Then the next one is I talk about emotional. Emotional abuse is the one where there's a lot of malice. The person just stops talking to you. The person just switches moods like quick as today they are romantic, tomorrow they are not. Today they say I love you, tomorrow they say I hate you. Part of emotional abuse is sexual abuse, and that especially is done by women, where if he doesn't do you good, or if he doesn't give you money, or you are having whatever reason you have headaches, and then you say no to sex, say no he has a good sex drive, and then you say no, and then you keep at it until he begs and begs, and he's tempted to, should I go out, because you just want to punish him to show that you're a woman, that you were taught how to deal with a man, is to deny him sex. Continue. There's a way that's met right onto a man. Continue. Sex is not to be, you don't have right saying no to sex in marriage. It's not about rights. You're not supposed to. It's part of it. If you're going to stay under the same roof, you're going to eat the same dish or whatever, you can't say no. So let me stop there. I know I'm going to talk about sex very soon. I know that much, because I know I'm going to get the questions. So lastly, I said then we have verbal. Verbal is one who comes in. Are you stupid? Are you mad? Look at you, dirty person. Look at you. Can't you put yourself together? Look at your mates. What kind of man are you? Your mates, their wives are driving cars like this. Why should we keep living in this place? We are more than this. I didn't know I was going to end up with someone like you. That is verbal abuse, whereby consistently your effort is being run down and not appreciated, and verbally told that to your face. All your inadequacies are being told to you, plus extra, and you're being compared to other people. Help me hold this, and then you drop it on the table. I said, I should you hold it. Oh, I thought you said I should keep it on the table. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're such an ignorant person. What do you know about football? What do you know about this? People intelligent people are talking, don't talk. That kind of comment, comes off badly. And then things like, it's because you didn't go to school, So you get the idea. Now, depending on the degree or level of the person's narcissistic nature, it could go much higher, where every day I sent text messages of insult and all that. There are times the police could be called on you because you didn't cook well, or didn't bathe the children, or you went to visit your relations, and then on your way back you came back late, or you came back late from work, and he says no working and all that, and then you are insisting on working, and he locks you out and stuff like that. These are all abuse. They're not normal. Okay, so I didn't come to about the abuse. I came to about finding, loving yourself, finding happiness, peace, zen, whatever you want to call it, in that relationship. So I had to write down notes. Okay, so first and foremost, the rule of engagement is your spouse cannot give you happiness. Your spouse cannot give you joy. They may do things that gives you joy, but they are not the source of your joy. They're not the source of your happiness. You are shocked, huh? Happiness is a choice. It's a choice you make daily. So what that means is that if you choose to be in an abusive relationship, that is your happiness you have chosen. But if you choose to walk away, you are choosing happiness. So either way, you are choosing happiness. Either way. I didn't come here to say, come and walk out of a relationship. It's a choice. Life is made up of choices we've made in our past. So happiness is a choice. That person doesn't owe you any happiness. At all. At all. You owe yourself. And you have to find your happy place. So let me start with those in an abusive relationship. I'm just going to put all of you in one lumpy place and you deal with it. Now, first and foremost, you have to understand where you are. You go through my past, post, the last week's post, and start from there. When you get to that point and you're done with it, you have to find your moment of zen. You have to find your moment of happiness, of joy. if you have kids, you say, okay, when I'm taking the kids to school, I will try to sing. I'm not sure I will sing with the kids. I'll ask some questions. We do games, whatever, to get ourselves happy. That will be my happy moment. Or when everybody goes to bed, I would go and sit and do some meditations, and that's my happy moment. Or if you're not working and you're working from home, okay, once everybody goes out of the house, I will take 1 whole hour to myself, or 30 minutes. I will sit down and I'll have an appreciation book. Write out what you're grateful for. Right? And stay and think about it. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed by this abuse, by these singular things that the person is doing, that we don't even see the good things happening around us. So sit down. If you have a job, good. Say it. I'm so grateful I have a job. I'm so grateful I have kids. What if I was barren? It would really have been a bad, and keep on going and write out. If you must find that time. If your house is clustered with people, relations and stuff, go to the bathroom. The time you take a bath, elongate the time. Get 2 buckets of water if you must, and take a bath gradually, and use that moment to appreciate your life and where you are at, and say to yourself, my happiness is mine. I owe myself happiness. Let me tell you guys a story. When I first got married, because I had really been a very moody person, emotional, and depressed at some point, and I'd suffered from anorexia from all that. So by the time I was getting married, I'd put myself together. I was like, okay, when I get married, I'm not going to, my husband won't be the center of my happiness, because in the past, people had been the reason why I had been like this. I'd allow people, and all that. So fast forward, I think it was a year before I got married. I was in my church office trying to sort out some things for a blitz that was done in West Africa, or in Nigeria and Ghana, I think. So there were these books that were given away, and one of the books I picked was Happiness is a Choice. I still have the book. I read it, and I really can't tell you what line particularly. I actually studied the book. And I decided, you know what? Nobody. As a human being, yes, things people do to me upsets me and gets me worked up, and probably will respond badly. But let me tell you, you can never come back in 24 hours and I'm still in that position. Nah, you're too small. And so, of course, got married. And I noticed that my husband would get into a mood when he's upset about something, and I'll be like, what's happening? And then I guess he liked being asked what's wrong. And I realized when I said what's wrong, then we would have this long discussion that could have been had like adults long ago. And then I would get into a mood. So I said, no. Remember what you read? And I said, no, I've got to break this, because now I have kids too, and I can't continue like this, or else I'll be transferring some of this negative energy to them. So I decided practice happiness. So in fact, I decided my children were not going to be my point of happiness, because children would disappoint you. And the reason why we get disappointed by children, let me just throw this in, is that most times we want them to be doctors or lawyers or engineer or pilot, because Mama Kandi's child is like that. And then they want to be mechanics, they want to be dancers, they want to be singers. And then so and to be very honest, they are gifts from God. So all I can do is to commit them in the hands of God and say, you know best. And whatever, when they tell me I want to become, I pray, I say, Father, let your will be done, your kingdom come. And if any worry crosses my mind, I go like, I have given to God, and He's able and willing to keep them. That's it. So we tend to, that's our kids, so that's why we get disappointed, really. But back to my spouse. So, and then I started to practice self-happiness. I would sit down, self-appreciation, what I'm grateful for, stuff like that, things about my life. And one day he goes, is that you didn't notice that I have not been happy for 2 days already? Something like that. And I was like, yeah, I did. And I thought when you come out of your funk, we'll talk about it. He goes, really? You couldn't even ask me. I said, no, you're a grown man. You're somebody's kid. I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. And happiness is a choice. You need to find your happy place. Whether we have misunderstanding or not, I expect to see you laughing and carrying on until we decide to talk about it. If I don't talk about it, my bad. If you don't talk about it, you're bad. But if you keep it as malice, we don't know when the trumpet will sound. So we need to have this agreement. He went and it happened 1, 2, 3 times. Before you know what's happening, he's like, if I'm like, I'm not happy, he goes, happiness is a choice. So I tell you, we hardly have misunderstanding that's still blown over. I kid you not. We can argue about something and somebody might probably shout, but I tell you, by the next day, I'm sure that very night we probably say something, would probably communicate, hey, did you see the man or something? Even if there was other person doesn't want to acknowledge you, that's their business. But if I feel like I didn't like the way he talked to me, or he feels like he will tell you I didn't like the way he talks about to me, I say, okay, this is the reason I am okay, but please next time, and then we are done. Because we have learned to do happiness is a choice. It's a choice. The doctors have been trying to give me BP drugs. When I go back, they say your BP is being just too normal, we remove it. I will not have BP based on any relationship. No, not at all. There's so many relationships I really want to walk away from, but what keeps me there is the fact that we're connected with my husband, from spiritual relationships to physical ones. I'm ready to move. I just need a press in the button, I'm gone, because emotionally I have left. Emotionally I have left because I found my happiness somewhere else. Which brings me back to the fact that if you're staying, remember, divorce is not just paper. Divorce happens way before the papers are signed. Way. And that's called emotional divorce. I'm going to talk about emotional divorce another time, and it will depend on the questions I'll get concerning that. But lots of you are living in marriages where you are emotionally divorced. You can't even bring yourself to say, I love you. You can't bring yourself not to be offended. You can't bring yourself to a point where you are not you're not disgusted by the person's presence, smell, and stuff like so. Emotional divorce has already happened, had already happened way back. So back to what I'm talking, happiness is a choice. So that's the first thing. You need to decide happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Number 2, if you decide to stay in an abusive relationship, or in that hostile environment, or in that marriage that you know that you're not getting the blunt side of it, you're getting the worst part of it, and you're not seeking proper counseling, you're just there wasting your years. Let me tell you another thing you're going to do, especially for those of you who are in an abusive relationship, for those of you who probably are in at a loggerhead with your parents, in-laws, and the rest. So this is a trick I teach people who are in a relationship and the person is not proposing, or is not moving forward, or is not signifying that they're moving forward with them. And I teach people who they feel it's time to go, but the person is putting clause. For instance, if you go, I'll take the kids, I'll do this, I'll take away your car, I'll take away this. Especially kids, when they say, I'll take away the kids, this is one of the tricks I teach them what to do. So I'm not going to expatiate on it. I only do that when the person is seeking counseling. Reason being that it's a personal thing. And when I teach you, I expect you to teach someone else. So I'm going to just take a bit of it and teach you here. And this I would make sure I'm going to make sure it's tailored toward people who are in an abusive relationship and still want to stay in it because of the sake of children. Let my children not be beaten, maltreated while I'm gone. Let me tell you, when he kills you, or you go mad, or when he leaves you with the kids or without the kids, the same. You're just going to go through the same thing. So you like it or not, the equals to is the same. You're just beating time before you get to that point. Your saving grace may be that she dies or he dies. And God is usually not like that. He tries to teach us the lesson of life by keeping the person there. That's why you hear a lot of people say, oh, why are the good ones gone? Because they're like, oh, am I left with the bad one? Just saying. Anyway, so let me teach you this part. If you're in a relationship and the guy hasn't proposed, or he's taking his time, or you want to leave, you don't know how best to get out, send me a message, we'll talk, and I'll tell you the step. I'll tell you tailored to your own issue. But for this one, if you're going to stay in an abusive relationship, this is what you do. Be obedient. Be obedient. There's a difference between submission and obedience. And 99% of Nigerian men plus clergies ask women to be obedient, but they use the word submissive. Yes, that's why I couldn't wait to teach that one, but you will wait. So be obedient. What do I mean? If he doesn't like the house untidy, you must make sure the house is always clean. If he doesn't want his food hot and cold, you must make sure that his food is being made ready as he's walking through the doors. You can call him, are you on your way? Are you almost here? You say, please, on your way, please let me know so that I can start putting your food on fire. Be obedient. It's not submissive, it's obedient. Then don't argue. Don't try to fight for your right, because you've given up that right. It is no longer your right to fight for your right. You only get killed or you'll be more hurt. So now that you're finding your place of peace, your place of happiness, you're loving yourself, part of what you're going to do is to obey. One of the things that get me upset, or that can rattle me and get me so worked up and everything, is to be harassed by road safety, VIO, and the police. So I always make sure, a week to when my papers will expire, I know as many. If I call this one in this station that cannot do my papers, the other person will do my papers. I do it. My driver's license, I make sure it's on time. I carry photocopy, I take snapshot in case my wallet is missing. I make sure, so you don't harass me. I hate being harassed by these 3 uniform people. So it's the same thing. I could say, no, after all, I know that, I know that, and I know the big people. I could say, I know that, I know this, but no. I go to the big people and say, please help me do this. So I started trouble. I have one that is always laughing at me because of that. So, same thing. I just become an obedient citizen of Nigeria. So do the same thing. I was telling my daughter the other day, when I'm traveling, I photocopy everything, from marriage certificate to everything. I carry I may have your visa, but the things I took to visa interview will be with me. I don't want embarrassment. I know that, and I know, like, I stick to the rules. That's obedience. So the same thing. You're in an abusive relationship. You are determined to stay. No more saying, it's my right, and then I challenge him. No, the lady who is telling you to challenge him is the one who wants you beaten. Your brother that's telling you to challenge him is one that wants you beaten. If they don't want you to challenge him, they should help you get out. But if you're determined to stay, your boss has said stay, and you are okay with the staying, please be obedient. Be obedient. It will save your life. It will give you peace. It will give your children it's an aura of peace in their home. Though children sense when things are really bad. So I challenge you, be obedient. He says, the only thing I would say no, you shouldn't be obedient to is if he says, stop that business or stop that work. Because that is the last straw. When someone takes your financial independence away from you, you are dead. I kid you not. But if you know that you have people who can send you money, or you've saved up enough that can take him a little and surviving, or that he provides everything, he just wants you to stop working so that he can be Lord and Master over you, do it. If he says move from Lagos and come to Abuja, or move from London and move. As long as you know there's a source whereby you don't have to ask for money for sanitary towel, fine with me. But you see, the last straw would be your financial independence. If he says you must give me a salary, go and compromise on something. Say, okay, can I give you, like, I give the Lord 10%, can I give you 10% as my Lord, like Abraham, like Sarah called Abraham? You quote scripture, and then he feels, oh, his father Abraham. Yeah, some of them are deluded like that. You just put it, and then he would say, I've seen it happen. So you do that. This is not a question of, I'll stand my ground, no. You stay in an abusive relationship, you go by the rules. Your parents say you can't marry. If you are determined to obey your parents all the way, they say you must marry an Anambra man or a Sokoto man. You let go and look for that Sokoto man. You don't wait for Sokoto man. You don't wait for the Anambra man. You go look for. And then, like I told one lady, I said, go to your mother or your father and say, Father, please, if you would, please help me and find a man from our place. It seems like every time I go out, I don't see them. And I'm asking you this as your child. This is a prayer I have prayed to God himself. Please, Daddy, find me a man. You are friends. They have sons. Find me a man. Her father was ashamed. She said, I told her, think of anybody whose parents made arranged marriages. Give it as an example. She did. Her father just said, you know what? Bring down your own man. But there are cases whereby the fathers would actually do that. They just didn't want to do it so it won't look like they were excessive. Do you get? You decide to stay in a particular home where you're squatting and you're getting abused, and you don't want to take a step and ask someone else. Or you say, after all, the devil knows better. Stay and stick through it. If they have rules, you come back by 8, you come back by 7:30. If you have a rule, people must cook. Say, Ma, can I be cooking Mondays, Wednesdays? Don't wait for him to point it out to you. Be obedient. Be obedient. You will find peace. I believe you me. You hear him say, hey, this is what I've been waiting for you to behave. Since I would have done this, or I don't know. Obey. See, now I'm not beating you. It's not because you obeyed. Obey. Obey. You're staying there. Obey. So, that's the one for, if you're then the next one is, whether I like it or not, you have to have an exit plan. Yes, it may sound like I'm contradicting myself from saying if you stay, you should be obedient, but you must have an exit plan. So there are 3 exits for every relationship that are having, that there's abuse happening or somebody's not happy in it. The first is that either you are leaving, you decide one day, I am done, and you leave the relationship, you leave the marriage, you leave the family, I'm no longer this part of this family, I'm gone. Or you plan, or you say, I'm quitting from this company. My mental being is more important to me. Because some of you who are working in places, you know your mental being is, you're being driven nuts, but you're staying there because of money. You come back and even eat your money in peace. You don't even look like what you earn. Yet you rather stay there. So if you're going to stay there, have an exit plan. Say, okay, yes, the pay is good, but I give myself a year, I give myself 2 years. Every month, I would deprive myself of this and that. Okay, I'm used to eating every weekend at a restaurant, or my friends go out and I sponsor. Okay, I'm stopping it. My car, I probably would buy a more conserving car, stuff like that, and make exit plans. Okay, so if I save 60% of my salary every month by blah blah time, I should be able to have my own company, or go back to school, or relocate, do something. If you're in that marriage, begin to plan. Okay, let's say you don't have a job. How do I go back looking for a job? I need to tell everybody and anyone in my contact, I need a job. I can't keep holding back and saying before. Look for an exit plan. So you need to, if you have finances or you have family that can help you, you can say, okay, you know what, I'm going to relocate. So let's say you're living in Abeokuta, I'm going to relocate to Makodi. Okay, in Makodi, where can I get a good accommodation where there's a decent school for the kids I can easily pay, and blah blah blah. Don't think that your escape route or your escape plan must include that same city. It will fall hardy to think that if you're not financially empowered, because if you were, we won't be having this discussion. But if you are financially empowered, you should think of what you can afford and to move to. And you should think of a situation where the person won't hold your neck financially with a hook in your neck, whereby anytime he wants to pull you, pulls you back because you're going to beg for school fees, going to beg for rent. Go down. Start from the very bottom and build yourself up. Many people have done that. I know of men who left their houses with just the shirts on their back and the keys to their car. and built right back up. The women who left the house with just their nightie and a kid in their hand, they built up. So you should find somewhere. You say, oh, he only gives me the amount. You can keep a bit at a time. I remember one time in my office, I told our staff, we always drinking soft drink every afternoon, 1, 2, some people 3, and I said, you know what? Let's do a soft drink. I don't want to call it the soft drinks name, the soft drink savings thingy. So everybody bought a bottle of that soft drink, and we stuffed that amount. If you wanted to drink, you stuff it in. And we made a commitment. End of the year, we started this probably March. End of the year, somebody bought a bag of rice for her mom. Somebody bought new clothes. Somebody had transport to go for the holiday, plus bonuses. So, why can't you? Some of you, the excess things you buy, your child say, lollipop, you say it's 5 naira. Put that 5 naira in a bottle. Train your child to eat less sugar. I kid you not. There are kids, your kid age, who are being made to fast. It's only for a while, and it's only for their own good. When they start to fly all around the world, this will just be a story. It will only be a story. It will only be a story. So for now, starve. Fast. Let your kids learn to fast. Fasting doesn't mean they shouldn't eat. If you're used to buying them popcorn after school every day, 100 naira, the lollipop and with the bike man, cut it down. Put it deliberately, bring out that money and save it. And save it, and so will happen. When my kids ask me for toys, I always tell them you can get it at Christmas, but you have to save for half of it. And so every break money, any money they get, they see change, they say, Mommy, can I have it? They save. Sometimes they go above the half of that toy that they want. One more of your child. I'm not joking. My youngest lost so much weight because he stopped buying sugar, sweets, and was saving his money. My daughter in 1 year wanted to give Thanksgiving offering to God for finishing secondary school. She saved 80-something thousand naira. So she stopped eating because she was in senior secondary and would give them money for break. She didn't eat money for a break, whatever, for a whole year. What about you? If a child can save 80-something thousand, what about you? So please, don't make excuses anymore. Make your exit plans. The last one is death, is an exit plan. Should you die, and he's the person who kills you, or she's the one who kills you, have you made your will? Is he going to take all the property that you've suffered, that he's beating you on top of it? Is she going to take all that and squander it on her family? You have to make plans for your kids, for your siblings, for all that. What if my parents die today? What is, make your exit plan. So my father dies and he's the one who has helped me from not getting married. Or my mother is the one who has stopped me from leaving our town to get a job somewhere else. What else? Make exit plans. Please, don't sit down and wait for whatever would be. No, make exit plans. Make exit plans. I was telling someone, I said when I was I say it everywhere. Before I got married, I sat my husband down. I said, yes, I'm going to marry you, but these are the conditions. I've got 4. First, you can't slap me, but if you slap me, you remarry me. You go to Katsina, you go to Kano, you go to Niger State, you go to everywhere where I have relations. You go and visit them, and I'll take you to the villages where you have to wear kaftan and speak Hausa and ask my hand in marriage. And it will go strictly according to the laws of whoever wants. And I'll take you to my strictest uncle, and I know who I was going to take you to. I said, number 2, if you beat me, I will never come back. I'm not talking about beating me once or beating me and then beating me another day. That one beat, if you beat me, I will never come back. I will never come back. And I probably will send you my next wedding invitation. Number 3, I said you must always take care of me because I've always taken care of myself. I said I've always taken care of myself. I started selling stuff from secondary school. By the time I left school, I've worked all kinds of jobs. I told him, I said, my mom even told him, he said, see, she's a very independent person, so you have to learn to deal with it. I told myself I can take care of myself. But if you let me take care of myself in your house, it will be hard for me to regard you as a man. I grew up in a place where if my mother bought salt, my father replaced back the money. If she bought gas, he replaced it back. He played it before us. And so I expect that because I'm very old, whatever. So I said to him, take care of me. I will do my part. When I have, I will give. I will not be selfish. I would, wherever I feel I can fill up, I will fill up. But never expect me to be the breadwinner. Never. Number 4, if I fight with your people 4 times, I will leave this marriage. We've done only 3. And it has stopped maybe 11 or so years ago. Because he made sure that every time it comes up, he stops it. I had my rules of engagement. That is me. Don't go and carry my own hand. That is my personality I put in there. So, what about you? What are you getting ready to do? Why are you going through life and you're carrying face and you're crying every small thing? You're crying, when you have in your hand the power for your own happiness. I dare you to try one of these things I've said today. What have I missed out? Yeah. Then let me go to relations. Really, for relations, I said this before on a very wonderful lady's blog, podcast, Facebook live show, Mercy Boutte, the Peace Talk. Fantastic program. Your family is your root. So take care of your root. Take care of your family. Take care of your root. The one way I know that I don't provoke my in-laws, I try to take care of my in-laws. That's it. But your friends are everything. Even the Bible says there's a friend that's still closer than a brother. So that root, take care of your roots. Meet their needs as best as you can. But draw a line. That's how to find happiness. If you are married, you could decide 10% of our, if we give our tithe, 10% of our money is going to go to our relations. If this one, they are more popular and they're less popular, divide it according to the ratio of poverty or need. Sorry for the use of poverty, need. And then conclude. That is what we give every month. We don't go outside of it unless it's a matter of life and death. If other siblings are giving, we decide. You give for feeding, you give for health, you give for compound, whatever, you give for when they have to contribute to the village, whatever. And draw a line. That's how to find happiness with your in-laws. Draw a line. Say to yourself, whether it's finances, disagreement, say, I will not disagree with them, go past this level. If they begin to say like this, I'll walk away. No need to prove a point. It's your happiness. You're looking for your happiness. So at that point, it has nothing to do with them at all. Before I conclude, for those of you who are wondering, should I leave? Should I stay in that relationship, especially in marriages? I want to ask you, do you want to be happy? Lots of you are staying because of the kids. You feel the man can't treat them well. He won't do this well with them. He won't do that well. At the moment, you're the one paying school fees. At the moment, you're the one helping. At the moment, you're the one doing this. You can do it from outside. You'll be surprised at how well they will be at taking care of their kids while you find your footing. Because if you die, they're going to have to do it. A young lady the other day, I heard, suffered a stroke. I don't even know how. She had a heart attack and died. Apparently, she had been having a problem with her husband. The mother came and was telling me how she had told her to come and talk to me. She had been depressed. And I'm like, why? It didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. She was worried about the kids. So let me ask you guys, would you care to guess where those kids are right now? If I told you, you'd be shocked. She thought the man didn't understand his kids. He didn't treat them. He didn't like the way she bought them cornflakes and this and that. She's gone. Whether they're soaking Gary or not, she's gone. Happiness is a choice. I beg you today, choose your happiness. Thank you very much. If you've got any question, please send it to me on inbox.